Hey everyone, Happy New Year. You are listening to These Two Girls podcast with Candy and Cheyenne as your hosts. I'm Cheyenne, and on behalf of Candy and myself, I just want to say thank you to our OG listeners for rocking with us over these past 2 years. We are so grateful for you. To our new listeners, welcome. In case you're wondering, we are just your average 30 something year olds taking our group text and social media convos to a platform where we can have open discussion about life, love, religion, music, anything else that happens to come along. We're just trying to figure it out just like you. So join us on this journey and we hope you learn, laugh, and open your mind to something new. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of These Two Girls podcast with your host
Candy.
and Cheyenne.
Happy New Year, Cheyenne.
Happy New Year!
Yes, we in this 9 days into the new year, and I'm tired.
I am tired too. Honestly, I
I'm,
didn't even realize what day it was. It's, yeah.
oh man, I'm drained, man. I'm just tired. I'm
That.
tired. Yes, so it's a new year. How's it going over on that side?
I mean, it's alright. Oh,
Okay.
well. So I was, I kind of rang in the new year alone, you
Oh,
know, by
oh,
myself. But,
oh.
you know, this is not a sob story.
Okay, it's not.
Um,
It's not. That's fine.
but anyway, but when I moved I'm not in Atlanta anymore, and I moved over to Augusta, um, which is 2 hours east of Atlanta, and yeah, if any of our longtime listeners might remember that I was here before. Um, Anyway, I got over here to the place that I booked from like October. And when I got here, the place was not what I expected.
Mm.
Um, Long story short, the girl that was renting me the place, she's a resident and she rents out rooms to students, right? So when I got there, she wasn't there. I had the key to the in the lockbox, whatever. I got inside, unpacked my entire car, which is a whole nother story about how much stuff I have. And then she comes home with two dogs, Candy. And I already told you this story, but for the listeners, two dogs, two large sized dogs. Um, Candy might be a little biased now because she got two dogs, but
No, 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 no. I'm okay.
but I was like, nah.
You hear music? I'm not playing
Yeah.
any music.
Okay.
Definitely no music over here. You good?
I just heard it.
Nah.
Okay. I apologize, guys. I'm not hearing things. I definitely heard it. What was I saying?
The lady and the two
Oh
dogs.
so that stressed me out a bit, like from around Christmas into the new year. But just before the new year, I found a new place, and then I just moved in this week, and so far so good. But you know, the only issue I'm
What?
having with my now roommate is that she likes it cold, or she's always hot and I'm always cold,
Mm.
and yeah, she claims that she was sweating the first night when I asked her to put the heat on. it's,
I mean, isn't it cold up there
it's
already?
cold. Exactly. I'm like, it's cold. And so she had nothing was on, no air, nothing. It's just off. But when you do
It's
that, everything else inside it like equilibrates to like outside almost, you know?
it's probably like that whole thing with like razzle dazzle like for instance, like I will have the AC on, but I also need the fan on to give it a little bit of,
That
dazzle dazzle.
razzle dazzle. What?
And we call it's like add a little bit of spice, a little flavor to the environment,
Well, you
you
have
know,
the AC on,
and then turn on the fan. Yeah,
so it's cold and then cold again.
yeah.
Well, Shanique and my dad, they will have a space heater directly in front of them in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and have the fan on overhead and the AC in the house on.
And have this heater on.
Yes,
What the heck? That's a different
makes
type of razzle
no
dazzle.
sense.
I don't. That's. I don't. You know what? Teach his own. I
Yeah,
can't even.
I
You know. Do you, bro? That works for you. Okay, cool, cool.
yeah.
It's fine. Whatever.
Well,
Um.
yeah. So
Well, the new
anyway,
year.
yeah. Enough
Oh.
of that. Yeah, go continue.
Oh. So I was gonna just say, with the whole new year, one of the things I would like to show their listeners that I did differently this year. Um. Rang in the new year with the polar bear plunge.
Oh,
You've heard of it before, right?
not before you sent it to us. No.
Okay. Okay, so that's a thing, guys, that I remember seeing, that they do in Antarctica, places where it's really cold.
Oh yeah, I did see. I know that. Like in other places, yes.
Right.
Okay.
So,
So y'all
I
just
know,
wanted to be in Florida.
yeah, well, they other groups do it. It's just that we don't do it because, okay, anyways.
Other groups, like what
So
do you mean other groups?
other people do it here in Fort Lauderdale,
But I was
Florida,
just no, I'm saying
Orlando.
for Florida, whoever in Florida that's doing it just wants to be in because I thought the thing was like people in the cold would run into the cold ocean.
Well, the thing is, it means something more than just running into the cold ocean.
Okay, fine.
There's
Educate
meaning.
us.
There's meaning behind it. So my polar bear plunge that I did with my group, it represented two things. So one, kind of like a baptism, you're going in with all the old stuff and you're coming up new, letting go of whatever it was,
Mhm.
washing off 2019, stepping into 2020 fresh,
Mhm.
first shower of the year, first,
Mhm.
all of that, you hold up fresh,
Okay.
that was one. And two, taking a plunge into new adventures, new experiences, um, that whole shebang, so that was kind of two of the things I mentioned to the group, before we did it also, we kind of uh, did a whole um, manifestation kind of speech kind of thing going on, and then we did a countdown and then kind of just ran right in, and the water was cold, but it actually felt really good afterwards. um the group that I was initially going to do it with, them clearly start on time, and I did completely miss it.
Oh, cause see, I
um
was gonna ask. I was like, I didn't know this was something you set up, but oh, okay. Now it makes
yeah,
sense.
so I was going to go to theirs first, and mine was starting after, so I was just going to just do it again, with my group, but I missed their group, so I just ended up doing my group, because I missed it. But they do it like you come straight from the club, so some people already had on like their party outfits, tux.
Mm.
They also encourage you to, like, say you had a divorce or something, you can wear your wedding gown to kind of just like, I'm done with this, just whatever it is that you want to bring to the table to wash off
Mm.
in the water. So that was kind of how they did it. But yeah, and then when I researched it more, it's like a thing. Some people use it as their beginning of the year fundraiser too. So like how you have the walks and the runs and different things where they raise money. People do it like that with the polar bear plunge too. So a
Okay.
couple different things I saw going on, but it is a thing. We just late to the party. That's all.
Mm.
Um, but it's good. It was good, and the water was nice. We were the only black people out there. I'm like, are the black people still sleeping or something? Or is it too early to come to the beach? I don't know. But we were the only black folks out there in the water, but it was good. So that was the new year,
Okay.
taking the plunge, take the plunge.
So let's get into our main topic of conversation today. So, guys, a couple weeks ago, Candy posted something on
Oh God.
her on her Instagram story.
Mhm.
That she felt very passionate about, and I was watching the story, and I was like, what? No, that I don't agree with what she was saying. So I'm gonna let Candy recap as to what she was talking about. She even referenced a video of another girl that went on for 10 minutes about the same thing. And I was like, all right, I do not share this thought process. And, you know, that's just where we are. And I think it ties in well with going into the new year and your mindset and approach to certain things. So, Candy, take us
All
away.
right. All right. So let me just give this real disclaimer really quick, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I posted it in December, and I was really super, super, super passionate about it then. Like, it was boiling in my blood. You feel me? Now, as I sit here in 2020,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
I do still feel the same way, not as strongly. I'm still trying to process and just kind of figure out how I want to move forward with it, what I'm going to do differently, um, just where I stand with it now. So I went on a whole rant on my Instagram stories about kind of helping people, um in terms of, maybe, say if I know um you're into hair products, and I may try to send you stuff, because I know you into hair, and I know you want to sell hair stuff, and I know that's your thing. So I may always try to send you vendor events that's happening, so you could be on the scene, or little tips, or tips to the trade, or just different little things to help you. But you don't do that. The feeling is mutual. You're not doing that on your end to me, and it hit me towards the end of the year. It did. Because I was fine. I've always been doing that. I've always been sending out motivational stuff, quotes, different little stuff, different little videos, different little whatever, texts, Instagram tags, all of that I do. And then I just kind of ended the year realizing, like, am I wasting my time? Am I wasting my time? Because one, if you're in that field, and then I don't see you doing anything really, like, am I wasting my time? One, and two, um, why don't you show that same love to me? You know? Um, and I don't do things. So let me just get this clear. I'm not doing things so that I can get your attention, or I need you to recognize me. But I think at some point we're all humans, and we have feelings. We do have feelings, and you tend to think like, okay, am I doing too much and you don't care? Am I being used? Am I being taken advantage of? And why aren't you looking out for me the way I'm looking out for you? And it even goes to this quote that I'm still playing around with this quote too, also, but I'm gonna apply it here. The one that goes about, teach your friends how to treat you. Right. So if I'm here showing you that love year after year, month after month, and nothing clicks off in your head, like, okay, let me do the same for Candy. I don't know. I think there's something off about that. And I don't know. I'm still, like I said, because I'm still just trying to figure out that whole thing. But it really, it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm sensitive about it. I really am, because I just realized that a lot of things I do for people out of the goodness of my heart. Um, I just, I don't want to feel like I'm being used, or I don't want to feel like I'm just wasting my time, you know? And I think another thing that I noticed with it too is like people don't even say, and I noticed this week. This week, I don't know if you remember, Shine. Like I messaged you, and I'm like, I got something else to add to it. I got something else. Like people don't say, they don't say anything. Like no, thank you, no, no, nothing. And I noticed it this week. It's this week it hit me when I sent something to a young man, um, uh, for a grant, a scholarship grant for his program or whatever. I actually sent it to two people, but the response that I got back from it, I was like, wait, you guys are people that I don't really vibe with like that. But look at the response you guys gave me, and people that I roll with and love dearly, they don't even say ish. You feel me? Like they don't say nothing. They don't even say anything. Even so yeah, I'm still going, y'all, because now it's all coming back to me. Like parents, like I have a slew of parent friends, and I will always tag them, always send them stuff that's happening in the area or things that they can send their children to, right? You know, cool. Tag, send. I don't really, they don't really say anything. I never really need anyone to say anything. But then I'll see them at the event, like I see them post up pictures and videos and everything. And I'm like, bruh, like you can't even say thank you, you know?
Uh,
And it hit me towards the end of the year. I don't know what was it about 2019, how it ended, where all of those emotions and thoughts just started flooding my mind. And I'm triggered by that. I am so triggered by it, because these things take up time, Cheyenne. When I do
so
these things, it's not, no, hold on, real quick. These things take time. These, you know, let me hear what you have to say, because,
so the last thing you're saying is a good point. Why are you using your time if it's going to bother you that much,
I mean,
right?
it wasn't bothering me before.
So that's what I'm saying. So like if you shouldn't be doing anything that's taking up your time in that way if it's going to, you know what I'm saying? Like it does that doesn't make sense to me. If I'm doing something for somebody, I
Mm-hmm.
count like anything I do for somebody, anything I give to somebody, I count it as that's gone and that's done. I don't care what comes back from it or whatever, but maybe that's just me. But let's back up some more from that.
Okay.
Okay? When you're saying that people don't reciprocate, like, so I get everything that you're saying. I get that you're human and, everybody's going to feel differently about what they do, and everybody has different expectations from whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you aren't doing it to get anything back, yes, as a human being, there's going to be this underlying thing that's going to notice when something isn't reciprocated. So, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, it's just like, how do you know what impact you're having or not? How do you even know what's happening on that person's level, why their response is not quite what you're expecting? You know what I mean?
Right, right. And I totally get that, which is why which is why I said, guys, in the beginning, that I'm still just trying to process the whole thing, because it's been a conversation that's been happening in different circles with, of different friends that I have. So I'm still just trying to kind of find the middle ground on it, because I do know that yes, people respond differently, and people react differently. I get that. uh, totally fine. Um, but my thing is too, doesn't that change at some point? Like, is your response this same response consistently for a whole year or 2 year or whatever? Just like it doesn't ever change. Like you don't ever
But
feel the need to say thank
who are
you.
you to dictate how they do what they do? So let me ask you this question then. The
Yeah.
people, any of those people, any persons, you know a lot of people, they don't reciprocate in those ways. Do they ever
Mm-hmm.
do anything at all, ever? Nice for you? Have they ever done anything, said anything nice to you, done anything nice for you, anything?
People, yeah, yeah.
So I'm just, so it's like, one of the things that came to my mind was
Mm-hmm.
like love languages, right? And people
Mm-hmm.
always
Right.
think
Came
about
up. That
love
came up.
languages in terms of romantic relationships.
Right.
But really, it's, you love your family, you love your friends, you love your
Mm-hmm.
job or whatever it is. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all of those, whatever your love language is going to come out in all the types of relationships that you have,
Correct.
right? And then recently, I was also educated that the love language can also be different for how you receive and give love. It doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
to be the same. So you like to do acts of service,
And
clearly.
it can change too. Can you add that too? Like your love language
It can
today could
change,
probably
yes.
change. Okay.
Right.
So we can add that too. Yeah.
So clearly, one of yours is acts of service. And you clearly like to receive love that way as well. But what if the persons that you're sending these things to or whatever, theirs is different? And
So this is where they interjected when I had this conversation where it came up, that same quote came up, that if these are people, same thing like you're in a romantic relationship, you're in a whatever relationship, it's still a relationship. So if you are seeing that the person you're in a relationship with, this is how this is how we're doing the love thing. Okay, this is how I'm giving you the love. This is how I like to be received. At some point in the game is what we're saying. When does that click? Like,
well, everybody is not emotionally intelligent. It might never click until someone point blank points it out to them that, hey, I don't appreciate this, if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not
and I
saying
feel
that's what you
like
need to
I
do,
feel
but I'm
like
saying
even
there.
now though. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying there are some people who just are not emotionally intelligent. They're just not aware that this, whatever they're doing or whatever, is affecting somebody else in this way. You get what I'm trying to say?
All right, so I hear you. So going back to the video that you watched, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the video that I posted that Shine is talking about is Rochelle Graham. She's the owner and founder of Allocate Naturals, and she was talking about she runs $1 million company, but she's saying that people along the way, she and her mother, they've tried to help people in terms of maybe financial or just I know this. Let me share it with you because I know that you're trying to get here, and you invest in them, but you see where like nothing has happened. Is what she was saying. Like, they're still complaining, they're still not doing anything, they're still not taking advantage of whatever opportunities. Like, I told you about this event that's
Mm-hmm.
happening. Like, I told you to go set up your table. Like, I told you numerous times. I told you to call this phone number that I gave you because I know this person. And like, this person or people, they don't do anything, and you've spent time sharing this information with them, sharing your whatever it is. So and so she was saying now that sometimes you have to leave these people alone, like leave them in 2019 because I'm wasting your time, is what she was saying. Wasting your time, time wasters. And the person that actually sent me that video was also sharing with me too that she spent a lot of time doing that this year, last year too, with people in her circle, um, and her family, and she just felt like they could have been doing more. Or, I mean, I guess, I mean, how do you judge what more is? Because maybe that's just their pace, whatever. But they didn't take advantage of a lot of the opportunities that was presented to them,
But what
you
you just
know.
said, it cannot just be said so lightly. No. So yeah, you cannot judge what somebody's pace is. Like some of the stuff that she was saying in the video, like ambition cannot be taught, and you're just seeing them not, they're lazy. Like I, those kind of things trigger me because I'm like,
Hmm.
you don't know what somebody's ambition is. You
Right.
think that they want to do this. Yeah, okay, sure. Like you said, this person wants to sell hair.
No, not think. You
Right,
know, there's a
right. This
difference.
person wants
Because
to
I don't
sell
want to
hair.
impose my vision on you.
Sure, yes. This person wants to
Okay.
sell hair. Okay, but how do we know how big of a hair company they want to have? How do you know they're not content with making $100 on hair every month? Okay, sure. That's not realistic. Yes, you can tell that obviously this person wants to do a business or whatever. But also, you don't know what affects their drive. You don't know what else is like, do you really know what else is going on in their lives that affects the way that they move? Do you know what are the things that they had experienced over time in the past that affects the way that they are, receiving what you're giving them, what if this person has severe anxiety and every time they go to set up their table somewhere they just can't talk to people and they just feel like they have a lot of fear going on? It doesn't
So
matter
that's
how
what.
much times you
That's.
tell them where to go.
But that's where we know we communicate. Like if you see, no, fine, you suffer from anxiety. You can't go to this event because of whatever. No, this is where let's talk about it.
Yeah, but everybody's
Not.
not open like that. You know what I mean?
I
I just feel like a lot of the statements that were made, I get it. If you feel that you are wasting your time, because I don't feel like anybody can waste my time. If I've done something and it didn't like yield what I expect, then I count that as a loss on me.
Yeah, that's your
I'm not
fault.
gonna
Yeah.
come and say, "Oh, this person wastes my time." Sure, but I just feel like a lot of the
So
statements,
you wasted your time.
I wasted my time. Sure.
Right.
So, but I just felt like a lot of the statements were very judgmental in the tone that was given. And even when you were saying some of the things, it came off like from a place, it just sounded like it was coming from a place like of of judgment, a place of like expectation and like like I don't know. I just didn't like that sound because you really don't know what's going on with people to say they're lazy, to say they don't have any ambition.
I didn't use the term
Not
lazy. Let me
you
put that out there.
specifically, but I'm saying with the video, she's saying that people are lazy and people don't have any ambition and people this. Like, I just feel like those, you can't just say things like that because you're only looking on partial things that you can see. You know what I mean?
But I hear you. But one of the things that I will say though with that, and we have to be careful too, is because that whole, if you have a certain, and I think this is what I picked up from her and even the person that sent me the video, is you have a vision, you have a vibe, and you have a certain way you're trying to move and trying to do things. That that fine, you call it lazy, you call it lack of ambition, whatever you want to call it, can be infectious. You feel me? Like it can damper your move. So I could see where she said you have to leave some of that behind because it can pull you down.
Well,
You feel me?
and
Like,
I was gonna say I don't disagree with that either, right? Yeah, if you feel if now you feel like that's affecting you, then you do what you need to do for you. But don't
but
sit there and start to call these people whatever you want to call them.
but check this, right? So with this same conversation, so now we're there, right? So now I'm leaving you behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we had this, so now this conversation now moved into something else because now it goes into loyalty, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
what the other person brought to the table. So now when people make moves like that now, and now deal with you like them used to know, you're not loyal
But what do
anymore.
you mean by you're not dealing with them like you used to? Because what does that? I feel like there's a difference between no longer spending your time trying to send this person these things, give this person all these advice, whatever the things that you were spending your time doing, and you felt like they weren't hearing you, that whatever the reason is,
Mm-hmm.
but you also felt like their lack of drive was infecting you. So you decided that what is it that you do? You stop talking to them
No, but what if,
altogether?
but
What
what,
does that
no,
look like?
but what if that's the basis of your conversation? What do we talk about now?
So then, well,
So our relationship was on a progressive end. We were trying to, or we were, like, what's our conversation? No, what we going to talk about? Like, what we going to talk? We don't have the same things to talk about anymore because
mm,
we're not moving the same anymore. You're going to talk to me about how upset you are about this, or probably something that, oh, Candy, and not even me, I'll use even her, like, say Rochelle, let's use her. Like, Rochelle, I can't just seem to get this to take off, whatever. And then Rochelle's probably sitting there like, oh, you really gonna vent to me about that? Like, I don't know. I'm just using that as an example. Like, the conversations are about to change, and then no, that's when I see where, like, for the person that sent me the video, no, they're calling you not loyal because you don't have anything to talk about anymore. Like, I was trying to bring you with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring you with me. I'm trying to, so that we can hang out and do the same things together and have fun and whatever. But now our conversations are two different things now. What I want to talk about or what I'm trying to do, you're not trying to do. And now that we're not really talking like that anymore, now you're saying that I'm not loyal. I'm not a good friend.
so then why in those moments you can then say, well, so well, let's back up.
Back up,
When
okay.
you decided that you and the person are no longer on the same page, do you
Mm-hmm.
tell them that, or you
Just like
just
how they told
decide
me,
you
or
just
just like
decide
how
to
they told me
move?
that they have anxiety.
Oh, that's not the same thing. That's
It
not
is
the
the
same
same. It
thing.
is the same
That's
thing.
personal.
It's
If
it's
no, if
it
you feel like no,
it.
that's not the same
If I
thing.
if I'm stepping away from this friendship, that means that, and I'm going to talk to you about it. That means this friendship is important to me, and we are on a level where we can talk about. Okay, Shine. I just want to, let's sit down. Let's sit down over a cup of coffee and just talk about where we're at. Whatever. Like, you should, for us to have that level of friendship, you should be able to have
But
shared some of those
okay,
things with me too.
but if I maybe I didn't get there yet, and now you've cut me off. Maybe then I really don't think it's the same thing, Candy. I really disagree because I am
I think
not.
it still boils down to the communication
Yes, but
too.
still, just because I am suffering from some personal problem that is, you know,
Okay,
I
fine.
might
You
not
don't have
even,
anxiety. Fine. Throw the
yeah.
anxiety out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Throw it out the door. Forget about it. Okay, fine. But you still never communicated to me about anything else, about why you never
But if it's
responded.
yeah, but if it's if it's personal or whatever, and I'm not, I'm dealing with something internally, and I haven't gotten to the place where I'm talking about it yet, and then now it's end of 2019, and my friend Candy is done with trying to send me stuff, and I
But
might
isn't
not
but
know
isn't
this
that
at
but isn't
first.
that but isn't that personal to? Candy to like you.
Well,
You
so
hooked up
that's
to
what
Candy's feelings too.
but if you, well, yeah, you're right. On both
So
ends, if you
we're
don't want
both
to
on
say
both
anything,
ends.
but
Right. So
then
you
I'm
didn't say
saying, but you now
anything.
have made the move, but you have made the move to
Mm-hmm.
cut the relationship in whatever shape or form. So, of course, on my end, I have to feel like, well, you didn't, if you're cutting the relationship and didn't say anything to me, of course that's gonna hit a different way. Whereas if you said, and you don't have to do this, but if you did come and say to me, okay, listen, I feel like, I thought you wanted to do this, I felt like this, and I'm sending you these
I think
things,
it
and
can
I
go both
felt,
ways.
yeah, but let me finish. So, and I felt like this and this and this, and because of that, I just need some space from this, because if you're not, this, maybe in that moment, then I may not have realized that things were affecting you that way, right? I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
known. But
Mm-hmm.
now that you're telling me this, then I can, maybe it would be an opening for me to say, you know what? I didn't know that was, yes, I've been seeing all the things that you've been sending me, and I've been writing them down. This has been going on, and da 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 da, and this is why I haven't done this, and this is why I haven't made this move, and whatever. And then maybe you would have had a different understanding of what's going on.
Okay, so so let me throw another. All right, cool. I'm just gonna be we're throwing out as they go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, here's another one to put on the table. Maybe we already covered it in some way, but fine. So now here we have, I guess, me or Rochelle or whoever that sees what you're doing, and um, well, I think we're using the hair thing as an example. Cool. So I see you doing your hair thing, and I'm trying to, just help you with whatever information I have. Now, Candy, on the other end, is selling shoes. Okay, shoes is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing shoes. You're doing hair. I'm putting you on hair stuff, but you have not put me on anything having to do with shoes. You don't send me nothing shoes. You don't nothing shoes. I don't even
how
know if you know I'm selling shoes. Like you
how do you
don't even
know that I'm
hold
seeing
on,
things about shoes to send to you?
hold on. But how you know I'm seeing things about here.
Because you're sending them to me.
But I mean no, but what I'm saying is I'm sending you things about here because I know that's your thing. But if
Mm-hmm.
you are my friend and you know what is my thing or what I'm trying to do, I think Shannon, you know what? I strongly think that should go both
Okay,
ways.
I'm not
And
saying it
then
shouldn't. I'm not saying that it shouldn't. Yes, it should go both ways, but I'm saying you're making an assumption off of
I am
what?
making an assumption.
So
I am.
when you sit down to send me the thing about hair, is it
Mm-hmm.
because you stopped and said, "Let me go look up some things about hair to send to Cheyenne,"
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
is it you have seen something, you're on social media and you happen to see this thing about hair and you say, "Oh, let me send this to Cheyenne." Which one is it?
Okay. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So came up in the conversation. So you crossed my mind.
Okay.
You crossed my mind. I thought about you. So the thing that came up now is are they thinking about you in the reverse? So maybe they do come up across these things, but they don't think about you. Um, and while I'm saying that, and then you can jump in after. And this happened this week too. I saw where gosh, I wonder if I should mention this. Uh, mm, yeah, I probably shouldn't, but you know what? What the hell ever. So a friend of mine, and I didn't even know this till I saw it floating around Instagram. A friend of mine, she is heavy into college stuff or like connections with like scholarships and grants,
Mm-hmm.
and like that whole shebang. Like I didn't know she was heavy into it until I saw her. I saw a picture of her with some other people I've met through networking. I'm like, oh, here's a picture of you here, you know? And then that's when she responds, oh, yeah, I'm part of a da 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 da, and I do da 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 da, and I do da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you never felt that you could have shared some of that information with me, or some of those resources, or like I'm struggling. I'm struggling out here just trying to connect with certain things, and you have a whole database, like you are a part of a
And this
big
person knows that you.
this person this person knows, like, I mean, knows what I'm doing. Like, I could almost, like, I feel myself even tearing up just thinking about it. You know, like, you know what I'm into or what I'm trying to do, and you have access to all of this, and you've never, not once in the past how many years, well, it's just been four, shared any of this with me. And it's only because I got connected with somebody that's in her circle, and it's because they're in a picture together on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I know. So that made me further think that, like, and this is somebody that I look out for too with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will, well, I guess in terms of parenting, I guess. Um, but this just makes me think, like, are people really thinking, or or I don't know how to. You go
I
ahead,
get
Sean. You
no.
probably get what I'm trying to say.
I
So
get
you
what
go
you're
ahead.
saying.
Go ahead. Cause
Yeah.
you about
So
to.
in that case, yeah, that's not cool. Yeah.
Am I wrong for feeling
No, you're
that
not
way?
wrong for feeling that way in that particular situation. And any other situations like that where if someone is in a position of helping or whatever and they don't think about you or whatever and they know and they're close enough to know what's going on, then yeah, that's not really, the right relationship that you're in. But that wasn't my question. Was when you're sending the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is what I'm saying. Like if like if we're going back to our example, like if I'm not sending you shoe stuff, maybe it's because I don't come across shoe stuff, right? Or maybe I don't really know how to, where to look for shoe stuff.
Or okay,
Or
so we're both selling. So we're both coming across selling things. We're both coming across mutual things that have to do with selling,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I
selling
mean,
stuff.
maybe, but that's again your assumption.
Cheyenne.
No, I'm so
Cheyenne,
serious.
you're in the business of sell, you're selling products, Cheyenne. We're both selling things. So that means we're both on the same end trying to get at events,
Maybe I
get
don't get
men.
it because I'm not in any kind of business. Because what I see on my social media don't look like maybe what you see on yours. So maybe I'm just not understanding where these
But it's not even.
connections occur because I don't know, because that's what I'm saying. I don't. How do you know what people are seeing and what they're coming across?
I mean, I would want to make more examples so that you could get the idea, but I feel like, because it's the same thing when I posted a video, like, people got in their feelings, like they felt I was coming for them. So I feel like if I start using examples, like, it's gonna be like, okay, you really coming for me, Candy. But there's so many I could use. But I just don't want anyone to go like, oh, okay, she's attacking me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, but
But what did
I
you
feel like
say you thought about me?
I thought about you.
Yeah,
What you mean?
with whatever conversation about the same thing. You said I came to mind with what?
I'm lost now.
You said you were having a conversation and like when, if people don't send You started to talk about the person with this grants and whatever, and you said that I came to mind before that. I don't know.
Mm,
Like about this conversation or about something with me?
I think probably about a conversation.
Oh, okay. Because I thought you was gonna
Um,
attack me too.
I mean, I could,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
you don't send me nothing.
I don't send you anything. Like what? Like what would you like me to send you?
I mean, I don't know I don't know what you'd send me, but you don't send nothing.
Because I don't see anything on in my day to day coming like things that I come across that has anything to do with anything that you're doing.
But so my thing goes further. It doesn't have to necessarily. So I firmly believe that we as a people should be trying to encourage, motivate, inspire each other. We should be trying to push each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it doesn't have to be that. And you said, I want to tread lightly with this one too. Um, because I guess everyone, you say everyone doesn't move that way, but I that's what I want for my circle. Okay, that's what I want for people I know, and I feel like if it could be motivational videos. I know you are one that says you don't need none of that stuff. Cool, but maybe that's why you don't send it, because you don't need it. You probably don't
I
even
don't
watch
watch
it.
them. No, I don't see any.
Right,
You see
you
what
don't
I'm
watch
saying?
them.
Like, but I'm trying. You see, I want you to continue speaking because I guess because when you're bringing me into the equation now, I'm trying to I'm realizing that I'm really not understanding what you're saying because I really don't. To me, what I don't
Mm-hmm.
see anything that I think relates to you on a regular basis. But what I do, is like, like last year when you were gonna do the retreat for the girls, I
Mm-hmm.
sent it to somebody that I know has a girl that might benefit from it. You know, that's what I feel like is, you know,
Right. So this is why I'm still saying, I'm still standing on the fact that there's still a middle ground. There's still parts of moving parts of it that's still um I'm processing, right?
hmm
So but I so like we have our group, right?
hmm
And I know you guys are not, well, I mean, you don't really respond to the inspirational stuff, so I don't send y'all inspirational stuff. You
we
feel me?
we don't respond to it when
No,
I can't think of the last time you sent an
because I don't
inspirational
send
thing.
it because y'all don't respond.
What kind of
Right.
response would you have liked?
I don't know.
Like what kind of
That it,
response do you get when you send them in other groups?
that they watched it, that it meant something. So I know that, like,
So let me ask you a question. You don't know the two people that's in the group with you? Do these two people ever share feelings like that?
right. So I
So
don't. So I
what
don't
does
know
it?
if.
So
So
how do
there
you?
you go. I don't know if I'm wasting
No,
my
but
time.
you know us, so you know that okay. You can see that it was watched, and you know us that of
I don't.
course.
I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know if you like turned
Well,
on and you're like, what the heck is this mushy stuff? Delete. Like, I'm not watching this.
but
I
see,
don't know.
well, I don't
Like,
know.
what is this soppy stuff? What is this
This,
feeling?
and that's what I'm saying. You know what you're
Turn
saying now
off.
doesn't make any sense to me because I don't know when you've sent anything mushy or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I mean, the records are there. I mean, you can look. You can look. It's all saved and there, but it's not frequent. But we communicate on the jokes. So I send jokes.
right. So then
So you
I
see what
just
I
don't see
send
what the
to you?
problem is.
I I, I send you what you respond to.
Yeah, but I'm saying I guess it kind of just feels like you took offense to something and then decided to, change your
So,
behavior, which is
so which
fine.
is why, so this is
But
what I'm saying. And in 2019, so, and I guess some communication needs to happen. But if I don't, because I don't know if it's making sense. You know what I'm saying? So you see, like, I see you guys respond to the jokes more than you respond to something else. So I stick with the jokes. That's what you respond to. Um, so that's the way I move
so
with that.
because you need validation for what you're sending is what I'm hearing. Because I'm watching the mushy or the inspirational stuff just as much as I'm watching or looking and reading the jokes, right? But because you don't get the response that you like or you want or whatever, then
It's just
you change your behavior
it's when you
accordingly.
look at the track record. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But so what I'm getting though also is that so I don't need to be encouraged at all because I don't respond to the encouragement.
and because you said, because I know you guys, like, I don't know if
But
it's
just
something
because we
that you
don't
guys dabble
respond
into.
doesn't mean that it's not received. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
it's
that's where
not
I'm at. Like,
something.
I don't know. But so because I don't know, you're left in a space where you just,
So if you
do
need to
am
know,
I
why don't you ask? So the communication goes both ways, right?
right?
So if you're not getting the response that you expect, and this is outside of our group text, and I'm not even focusing
Mhm.
on that. But if you're even in your relationships with these people that you're sending things to and their business and whatever, if you're not getting the response that you would like for your personality, your psyche functions off of whatever response, some kind of communication, then you should also communicate this,
I
right?
guess I did. I guess I did through my Instagram. I'm just joking.
But yeah, but
I
that's
guess
not
it.
the place. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. I'm agreeing. It's a joke. It's
Yeah,
a
I
joke.
know, I know.
Like, because put some laughter in the air, but whatever. I don't know.
But
But my
yeah, so then you should communicate these things because people. That's what I'm saying. Like even
but
just going
but
back to the group text, I
mhm,
would not have known until now
right,
that you
okay.
were, you know what I'm saying, that you didn't think that we were responding whatever to whatever you were sending, so you know have decreased the frequency of those versus other things. I wouldn't know that. And it doesn't mean that when the things were coming that I wasn't encouraged by them. You know what I mean? But if I had known that you would like to have a conversation about
No,
these
I
things
mean,
or you wanted some kind of
we don't,
response, then
and
I
because
will
it's,
give you what you want.
but it's, and the thing too is, it's why I'm also not sure if that's the thing, because it's not going both ways. You feel me? Like, it's only going one way. You
What's
feel
only
me?
going one way.
Those type of posts, you know?
But again, I am not coming across certain things. I don't know.
Listen,
I feel like
I feel like we listen. I think that's a cop out, because I feel like it's on all platforms in every shape,
we're talking
form.
about two different things at this point.
Okay, I'm not talking about selling stuff.
Okay, so if we're
Okay,
talking about motivational and encouraging and whatever, right?
right.
It also, for me, when I think about that, it depends on what kind of headspace I'm in, right?
Okay,
If
okay.
my headspace is that I'm already down and depressed, and maybe I'm speaking some truth to myself right now, but
Okay.
if that's where I'm at, I'm not looking really for the mushy stuff. My
Mm.
go to is the jokes and something that's going to make me laugh. And if that's what I'm, because we all know how these algorithms work on social media. If that's what I'm seeking out, then that's all I'm going to keep seeing on my timeline, right?
Can
So
I ask you a
hence
question?
that's what I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to send, when I'm sending stuff. because that's what I'm seeing. You know what I mean?
All right. All right.
Okay.
So, um, so okay, so back to my point of what I'm saying with the back and forth, okay, with the fluidity of what we're sending. Um, with so I send you jokes, you send me jokes.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we're on the same page. We sending jokes. We vibing on the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I know we have a thing there. So it's concrete. We know said this is the vibe right here. We're sending jokes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We even send our things on the other side between me and you, but we know what we're sending each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're throwing out the same vibes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I'm saying too. So say I send the inspirational stuff. Nothing comes on that end inspiration. Okay, cool. So we're not fine. We're not vibing on that end. Cool. So I won't tread in that area. Let me stick with the area that we're vibing on. Okay. Um, I think there's room there for some truth. It's like we're going off of each other's vibe.
I mean, but okay. I guess I'm going back to our conversations. The vibe is different at different times.
Right, but our content is still the same. Our content doesn't change what we're sending each other. The stuff that we send each other is basically the same stuff, just different person, different something different. But it's basically the same.
I
You don't
don't
think
know. I
so?
don't think so. I feel like there are things in there where discussion is warranted and the discussion is had. Like it gets deeper than the regular jokes.
Right, but
But
I know that I can send that to y'all. I know that I'm gonna get a response from you on that.
okay.
That's what I know that works with
I
us.
think I'm lost now as to what the point was.
Yeah, I think where I don't remember where I was going with this. I was just, well, no, I remember now.
Hmm.
I think I was just going back to the fact of you've recognized it. We know what to send each other is what I was saying. Um, and after a while, you kind of know what our discussions, what we can talk about, what we find funny, what we um I mean, maybe shady. Like I sent you the other thing the other day about, oh, your girl is with my girls.
Hmm.
From me, like I know, you know, like I know to send you that, you know.
Hmm.
And I know that you have something up your sleeve to say to get at my girls,
Hmm.
you know. But I know that's our content. Okay, it's been happening for so long.
Hmm.
Um, is what I'm saying back to people in general or people you may communicate frequently. Okay, frequently. Like you have to. I think that you have to get the tone after a while though.
I'm
Like
gonna be
no,
really honest with you. I have never thought about it like that until you are saying it now. I have never
okay.
considered that there was a vibe. Like I've never considered that when I'm sending you stuff that
Mm-hmm.
consciously that it's because of this.
Right. And
It's
if I
just
tell y'all
a
I have
reflex.
groups, Like I'm literally like I can sit right now and tell you like I'm about like 10 different groups. And I know exactly what content to send to each
But
group.
that's what I'm saying to you is that I have never considered what the cat the genre or the content is for the different groups that I am in. It never
See?
crossed my mind on that level. When I'm
Is
sending
that the
stuff, it's
overthinking side to me? I
subconscious.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say yes. I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know that what you're saying now
Wow.
is a thought
Okay.
that I've never had. Like
Mm.
I've never thought about what the vibe of our group is. it's
And
just
I know there
second
are jokes people
nature.
send to me that they're not sending to everybody else. Like I know, like
I
there's
mean,
stuff you don't send to
yes, that's
everybody.
I know that. Yeah, that's I'm not denying that. That's true, but I'm saying it's a subconscious kind of a reflex kind of thing. Like I know
Mhm.
that yeah, when I'm sending when I click the little airplane arrow on Instagram and the
Mhm.
list of people come up, I might click Milan, I click the two of you, I click Shanique. I might skip over one person that I sent something to most recently because I just kind of subconsciously know that they're not gonna get it.
This conversation got a really bit too comfortable. Like, do we know we're still on the podcast? Because I just literally just burped in the mic, and I have to be like, wait, hold on, we're
I
still
didn't hear
recording.
you.
Are we still
We're
recording?
still
Like,
recording. I mean, we need to wrap it up soon. But my
right.
point is that these things, it's just kind of a reflex, subconscious like thing that I do. I'm not thinking about specifically like, oh, this is let me not send. Well, I mean, yeah, I am, but it's like what you're how you described it just now. I have never thought about it that deep.
Mm.
So, to my point is that you really can't assume what people's thought processes are. And yeah, go back to your point earlier. If you want to, you have to teach your friends how to treat you. And I think with that comes open communication. Like you then, I feel like we really shouldn't be afraid to say, hey, look, I feel like, you know, this is one sided. I would really, and, this and this and this. And I would really like it if you did this in our relationship. One of the things, like, I didn't really make any New Year's resolutions. And I didn't make
Mhm.
no vision board this year. I didn't do any of that stuff for lack of resources. But I said to myself that one of the things that I just kind of, listen, we've been doing this life thing for a while. I already know what I need to do for the year. You know what I mean? But anyway.
I
So, I
mean,
mean, no, I'm not knocking the stuff because I've done it. I'm just saying right now, I just wasn't in a place where I could really sit down and do those concrete things. So I already know in my head what
mhm.
I need to do. So I'm like, Cheyenne, you don't need to get in your head about, oh my God, I can't make this vision board and blah, blah, blah. Anyway,
All right.
but that's because I know what I need to do. So
I
one of
mean,
the
I
things,
haven't really done mine yet either.
so
I'm
one of
still
the
mulling it
things
over.
that I decided that I wanted to do was to speak my mind even more, like
Mhm.
to communicate and say the things that are on my heart and say the things that are on my mind to the people that I need to say it to. Like if it's a friendship and I feel, even if it's a small thing, some type of way about something, I've decided
Mhm.
that I'm going to say, "Hey, look, this happened and this is how I feel." Because for me, I live in my head a lot.
Mhm.
And I will play the scenarios over and over of things in my head. And it's not productive for me right now. I got a lot of other stuff going on that needs to get done. And I need the space in my head for those things. And
I
maybe that might work for you because you are an overthinker. And
mhm.
maybe you need to stop thinking and start saying some of these things. I don't know.
And and I hear you, and back to what you're saying about what you're trying to do for this year, it also goes back to how we process, different things, or what different things mean to us. So even back to this whole topic, for me, I can personally say I'm in a place where I'm trying to get um out of I don't know if being used is the term. I'm trying to use I'm trying to get to a place where I don't want to feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
Mm.
I feel like I've come from a place where I felt like that for a while, for a long time. And 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 then I wasn't in that space anymore. And then I think when the year came to a close, I'm like, wait, is that also still happening now with the people closest to me? So so you say you want to speak your mind and stuff. You're basing that off of your experiences or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to move in that direction. Cool. My thought process coming from what I've experienced, what I've been through, what's at the back of my head. So the way I want to move, that's how I want to move. Because our experiences, what happened, kind of shape
Yeah.
how we want to move or what we want to do differently. Um, because no one wants to feel like they're not being heard. No one wants to feel like they're being taken advantage of. No one wants to feel that way. And when you do, you want to change that. Um, how do you change that? Is that all based on communication? Um, I don't
And
know.
I don't think it's all based on it. I mean, yeah, what you're saying is equally as valid. Yes, everybody's gonna feel and do based off of their own like experiences. Yes, I guess my thing was, you know, put in the assumption on the other person based
Mm-hmm.
off of how you feel. Because maybe, what's happening, whatever is coming in your way, may not be the intent of the other person. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And so I just feel like we just kind of need to consider all angles. But I mean, at the same time, if you feel like this is what you need to do for you, I'm not going to knock it either. You know?
Right, because I do also think that we do need to look out for ourselves too.
Right.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree that there's some communication that needs to happen. I think that we as adults need to work on that. Um, but I do also, we have to look out for feel like we know what triggers us, like we know what makes us cry. Like we cry, adults cry, we
Mm-hmm.
cry. We cry, we get emotional, we get in our feelings. It happens, and we have to look out for our feelings because we don't have mommy and daddies or no looking out for us and standing up for us. We got to stand up for ourselves,
Yeah.
you know, and
But
and
to
mm,
to something you
go ahead.
said, about something you saw about the meme, so now we're just out here cutting out toxic people out of our lives
Right.
instead of communicating how you feel about the toxic thing that happened. Because then, how did this person get to the point where they could continuously be doing all these toxic things to you? Because you stayed silent and didn't say anything. And now you've gotten to the point where you feel like you need to cut them off. But maybe if you had said something,
I never said I was cutting anybody off. Can we just put
no,
that on the table? Just I didn't say what Rochelle said. Rochelle said she was cutting people off.
you
It
leaving
depends who
people
said
in
it to me.
2019 when you don't know how
What?
to, you just gonna go run into the same thing again.
No, I'm just not sending y'all nothing no more. That's all I'm not gonna do. I'm just not sending nothing no more. But I'm
But
still
that's
cool.
not your personality. You're gonna start sending it to somebody else, and then the
You're
same
right.
thing is gonna
And
happen,
they respond.
or they don't, or you sending it
And
to
then I
four different
stop.
people and two of them don't. But that never solves your issue.
I don't know. To me, I think it kind of does.
I mean, okay.
I mean, I do. I mean, I just, yeah, I feel like it in a way it kind of does. Um,
I'm starting to
um,
realize, really, that's my ending point here. I'm
mhm.
starting to realize that communication is underrated. Like a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of conflict could just be solved by having a conversation because you over here thinking this and that person has no clue. No clue.
Well, thanks for listening to these two girls podcast. Now you know how I feel.
Oh my
You know,
god.
I'm sorry, it's guys, and I'm being really petty right now. My apologies. But okay, all right, cool. Yeah, you're right. I do agree with that communication thing, and I'm going to say that yes, I'm being a little bit childish right now about it, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to be at this moment. So allow me to be while I figure out how I'm going to move forward with just this whole thing. But yes, I am in my feelings. Feel strongly about this whole thing. Um, and I'm trying to figure out how, if it means that much to me. Does it mean that much to me? Well, clearly it does.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a whole discussion about it. Um, I'm trying to figure it out, but right now as I sit here, I'm being childish, and I want to be childish right now about it because my feelings are involved, and um
Your feelings are always involved.
okay, okay, Cheyenne. And even back to even this whole thing with just these people that I send these things to, the whole grad thing this week, and I just felt so like it meant something. You know what I'm saying? Like it meant something to y'all. Like I went and I saw this because I'm here trying to apply for grants, and I saw this, and I'm like, who I know is into this field, and I'm like, okay, I know these people. Let me send it to them. Like, oh my gosh, like I hate that I do that. I hate that I do that sometimes now. It's like, why the hell am I thinking about anybody else sometimes? And here I go, and I copy it, and I go and I send it and whatever, and
Did it cost you anything?
my time, yeah.
How much time did it really take to copy and
It
paste
don't matter.
something?
I could have looked for another grant in that time when I'm searching
No.
your name, and yes, it is time,
But you
Shine.
know
It is
what?
time.
Don't try to dampen who you are just because of what other people are doing. Like
And there's a whole lot of that's a whole nother conversation. We won't do this
we
tonight,
gotta
but
stop.
okay, go
All
ahead.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, y'all. We're done talking about this.
We just gonna end it there. Yes. So yeah, thanks for listening. I hope maybe you're one of those people. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I don't
I'm
because
clearly one
I
of
can
those people.
I can be shady and say that probably some of those people I want talking about don't even listen to our podcast.
Mm.
We can do that too.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
am I being wrong for that one, Shane? Am
I
I?
don't. I wouldn't say that. I don't really know
Okay.
what you're talking about, to be
Oh,
honest.
no, I'm just
I mean, yeah, possibly, right? If they're
right,
not,
right,
they're not. Maybe they don't support the podcast
right.
either.
Right. Like I could actually think off the top of my head a couple of people that I know that don't even follow our Instagram page.
Mm, okay.
That we could get into that, but we won't do that
We're
now.
not gonna
But we
get
could.
into it.
We're not gonna do it. As a friend, should you be following my page? Tell me, Cheyenne. Answer that question
All
before we
right,
log
y'all.
off.
Thanks for listening.
No, you better
Um.
not answer off air. You better not answer
Oh,
off air if you're
we
not gonna
gonna
answer
talk
on
after
air.
this. Um.
All right.
I've not been listening to anything new. I'm reading stuff. Oh, y'all, Amanda Seales' Small Doses. I would buy a hard copy of that and have it for reference. Yeah, good book. Are you
Yo, I'm tired. I
you
don't have
done?
anything.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done. I'm done.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
Listen out for more from us this year, 2020, new
Mm-hmm.
decade. And I don't really get the new decade stuff. I'm not really that excited. All right, y'all. Later.
This is